You know the drill, man. Keep
Dude,
it true. You got to pull it in even further than that.
Courtesy of Joe Rogan.
Keep
Fist away from the face, bro, no?
Nah. Closer.
He's talking that bullshit, is he?
Yeah. Even closer. You'll hear the difference. Go there.
G'day.
Hear the difference?
Yeah, it's just a bit mad.
It's astounding.
I feel like it's yeah.
So you feel like it's too close?
That's good.
I'm so used to it now. It just doesn't worry me.
Maybe I have it at too low of a but yeah.
You're good.
I'm good, homie.
We're on. So this is my big homie Andrew Cleary. This is what I'm calling the Gypsy Tales bonus episode, because this one's just for me, yo. People don't know about that Andrew Cleary yet.
No.
They're gonna know after this.
Not yet.
So the story is, me and Andrew met last year on the Lachlan Giles Jiu Jitsu camp in Thailand. We sort of got off the plane and we ended up we actually were rooming next to each other as well, which was pretty cool.
Deadly.
So like right next to each other, and we just hit it off, I guess, and we've been mates ever since. And it was interesting because you're one of the guys that you're like a testament to, like, you can make new friends. Like, I was 30 when I met you, and it's like I think some people get set in their ways that you can't really make really good friends, like people you'd call your best friends, like later in life.
Yeah, I agree 100%. We met each other when I was 31, you were 30, and I just think that we hit it off straight away. And because I believe we've done a lot of travelling,
yeah,
I think we adjust fairly easily. Our mind is expanded, or whatever way you want to put it. It's just I feel like we find that because we've had to move, you being in America, moving around, same as me, I spent 4 years over there, so travel, I believe, brings out true character, and I think you see that in someone when you meet someone and you know they've travelled. I think there's a difference. Do you think?
Yeah, no, I reckon you can definitely tell. I think people's perspectives, when you see the ways that people live, and you can see a lot of harsh times, you can see good times, you know, like you can see people that live in all these different situations, like I don't know, I feel like less stuff is a surprise as well, you know, like you can get those like reality checks, like when we went to Vietnam at the start of the year, and then I got my brother's girlfriend, she was just like shocked by the way people lived and stuff. It's like, it's humbling in a way too. Yeah. When you do go, especially those Asian countries.
Especially Asian, man. Yeah. There's not like I have so many friends that have travelled everywhere. I have friends that live in America. I have friends that live in Europe, and they say like, you know, I've been here, I've been there. I don't think you've been anywhere until you've been to Southeast Asia. Yeah, dude. That's my opinion. Like, you know, it's just a different way of living. I haven't been to South America. I'd say that's pretty similar. Yeah, with eye-opening. For me, it was Fiji. The time I went to Fiji and seeing how humble the people were there and how happy they were. Yeah. It was like a little switch in the role for me. I don't think I had been to Bali, I think, at the time, and maybe a couple of other. I think it was just Bali, but when I went to Fiji and seeing how humble they were, like there was someone. I have 2 kids, as you know, and at the time I only had one, Jackson. And when we went to Fiji, he was a little baby, so in order for me and my partner Kate to go out, we had to get someone in to mind Jackson, and we asked her would she bring us to where she lived, and she said, yeah, no problem. I can't think of the woman's name now, but anyway, she brought us to where she lived. So were you doing that as almost like a background check sort of thing? Like no, not at all. No, the hotel had suggested it was a real 5-star hotel on the Coral Coast, so they had suggested who I trusted there. She used to work in the hotel. It was like her semi-retirement sort of a gig. Like a gig. Yeah, like a retirement. We're not going to give you retirement money, but we'll give you a nice cruisy job. Yeah. We don't have that social security, but we'll hook you up. But she ended up bringing us back to her village, and it was just simple, man. Just simple. Walk in, they've bamboo rugs. I don't know what you call them, but like just like woven. Just simple, mate. Simple way of living. Single pane windows, not the ones that tilt open. Yeah. Slats, like the glass slats. Just a simple way of living. Such a simple way of life, and so happy. And just happy. Happy with basically nothing. What we take for granted. First world problems, you know. Yeah. We tend to whinge and moan about, you know, things that bother us in life. But really, when you sit down and think about it, and when you go to somewhere like that, you go, okay, I need to check myself here real quick. Yeah. I should be grateful for what I have. Traffic, I don't get mad in traffic anymore. Just from spending time in like, well, I've been through like a little bit of South America, and it's super similar. Like just the way I went to Costa Rica, and it's like the most it's like the random things that hit you,
and give you like a bit of a gut check or like perspective.
Yeah.
And you know what it was for me in Costa Rica? Everybody's lawn was immaculate. Like they'd have these just what you'd call just a shit house. But that's just the standard of living there, you know? So they'd have this house, and the pride that they put into making their lawns immaculate. And they didn't have lawnmowers. They didn't have, you know, like power tools to get that shit done.
Oh, they're like the scissors.
Yeah, for real. For real. Like I drove past and this dude's like chopping his like his edges with scissors. And like his lawn was immaculate. And like they had just like, it's like red volcanic dirt there. Yeah. And they got these handmade brooms just sweeping everything out. And it's, I don't know, there's just like a simple pride in
their lawn.
Yeah, and just like having these lawns and their houses immaculate. And it's like, I don't know whether it's like here, you just think if you're in a low socioeconomic, people don't have the same pride in that stuff. But I don't know. There's just
no. I know what you mean. It's like they hold on to something that they can have pride in them countries. Yeah. Such a different way of life, man. I really love it, and I'd love to live in one of those countries, one of like in Southeast Asia or somewhere like that, even Bali or Thailand. I don't know how for how long, but I would definitely like to spend more than, you know, your average holiday, 2 weeks to a month in one of those countries. But someday, I don't know how, but I would love to make it work. But even going training there, as you know, it's just such a it's refreshing, like, you know, when you're training there, as you know from last year's camp, Lachlan Giles camp last year, it was the same way. It gives you this energy or something being in a place like that.
There's a focus too, because like there isn't a lot of shit to take your mind off what you're there to do.
No.
Like we went there last year, and it was the thing, like you said this year, so you just got back from the exact same camp, but basically like we trained really hard there last year. Like we didn't miss a roll. We just absolutely put our nose to the grindstone. But it's so cool because like there is nothing to really distract you. Like we went out on the beers a couple nights, but it was just went there, such a clear focus, get up, breakfast, train, juice on the way back, walk back. Like we walked everywhere.
Fruit juices for those who were listening. Yeah, we weren't
hitting not on the Mexican juice. Yeah, but we
get it twisted.
Yeah, we get like a fruit juice from the juice stand. Yeah, walk back, hit the pool, wash your clothes, have a nap, and then you do it all again, and then dinner, and then, you know, a smoke by the pool, and then bed. Like
well, last year we went on a lot of the tours. This year I didn't.
You didn't go on the tours?
Man, no. I was just too tired last time. And the same again, I was really conscious of keeping fresh mentally and physically. More so mentally this year. That's what I meant. I went with that attitude of, I'm not going to burn myself out mentally, because I felt like last year I did. Come Wednesday, my brain was just fried. And also I have confidence in my learning. I know what way my body works now. I know what way my mind works compared to last year. Last year I didn't understand that.
So what did you do differently this year?
Trained under Lachlan for a year.
Yeah.
Trained under Lachlan Giles for a year, and I believe that not only have I learned, I've spoke to you about this before, but not only have I learned Jiu Jitsu, but I've also learned the way my mind absorbs information training under Lachie.
And so we're different with the way we learn, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%.
Like what would you say is like your optimal learning? Because I think that
trial and error.
Yeah, okay.
Trial and error is mine. I think you're 100% right.
We're so different.
You can in ways we have a very similar style.
Yeah.
When rolling, two of us are sort of lanky. You're 6'2", are you? Or
6 foot. Yeah.
6 foot. I'm 6 foot as well. Sort of 6.5, and same sort of body type. I'm a little bit heavier than you are. But yeah, I think our learning is different. As in, you more sit down and watch tape. I watch tape as well, but I'm more so. Your theory, I'm practical, I believe. Yeah. I think that's the difference between our learning abilities, our learning the way we, you know, absorb information. But that's the difference, I think, this year between this year's camp and last year's camp. Again, you don't only just grow in jiu-jitsu, you grow in as a person as well. I think doing jiu-jitsu, where you're learning how your mind works, how your body works, what to do, what not to do. So yeah, that was the difference between this year's camp and last year's camp. I wasn't going out doing 5 rounds Monday, 5 rounds Tuesday, because it's 5-minute rounds, mate. You're doing 20. You're doing
50 minutes of hard rolling a day, and expecting your mind. And I've went from training 4 times a week. I tried to get between 5 and 7 hours of training in a week to doing 4 hours a day. Yeah.
So day 2, you've done your weeks.
Yeah.
You've reached your week's quota of what you would normally do when you're at home.
Yeah.
So obviously, I work in construction. I'm a carpenter, so that's physical. So that gives you a couple of hours as well. But still, yeah, I didn't burn myself out. That was the difference, I think. I don't know whether that's with age, or with experience, or
it would have just been experience. I wonder if I would have done it differently last year, because like I was fit last year when I went into that camp, and I was just hungry as fuck to get it done. But I wonder, I haven't really thought if I would have done it too much differently. I probably wouldn't have rolled as hard, because I remember my fucking forearms last year, like
cooked. This year they were cooked as well.
Really, you got cooked again like that?
Just from my wrist to my elbow was like every time I was finishing training, I was shaking. Yeah, my hands were shaking. I was a lot more conscious of hydration and stuff this time as well. Like
that's where I learned about hydration, dude.
Getting the electrolytes, the salts, the sugars, everything back in. Getting as much liquid in as I possibly could, and doing things that way. But yeah, and we arrived early last year,
and then we rolled for 2 days before.
Yeah, 2 or 3 days. 2 days.
Yeah.
I think you might have done 3 days. I only done 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh no, I came the first day, huh?
No, you missed the first day of rolling, and then you were there for the next 2, and then the camp started. Yeah.
Yeah. So what an experience that was.
It was ridiculous.
And even talking to people this year in the camp, the amount of people that had seen your video, who knew me from the video, who had booked the camp because of the video, and now are listening to your podcast. It was like it done full circle. It was like insane. These are guys, one guy from America, from Henzo Gracie's gym, Cal, another guy from Canada, Ian. There was guys from all over the world, that I was just going, this is absolutely insane. And then the fact that I was stopping off here on the way back to visit you and roll with you and have a bit of crack for a couple of days, it's mad. It's just a crazy world, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fucked, like.
And we talk probably 4 times a week at least, We need to talk every day, so it's like it's true.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you don't expect that. Well, I don't know that people expect that you can find people that become really close friends. I think the jiu-jitsu thing definitely helps, but I mean, there's a fuckload of people I do jiu-jitsu with, from club and whatever. I'm friends with them, but you don't get that. Tight, but obviously it's like a good foundation. But I feel like if you're open to, meeting new people, and because I was talking, like, I mentioned Shane on the podcast. You actually got to talk to Shane for a bit yesterday, because he's another guy where he's like you, like in the last, I met him when I first started. He's just a dude I've really gravitated towards, and now I'd say he's a really, really good friend. And it's funny how you can get to be like that, and he said to me at the start when he first met me, he was like, this dude's either fucking really awesome or he's full of shit, like completely. And I just thought it was funny. And like, he would say to me, like, his style, like when he meets a person for the first time, he's like a little bit more like cagey and closed off and trying to like figure people out. Whereas I think my style, and he's like the person that made me think about it, to be honest, where I basically treat people like they're my best friends the day I meet them. And then if I don't get the same sort of vibe back or whatever, then I'll just leave it there. But it's like, it's interesting. And I think maybe that is the reason why I can meet people and be sort of tight with them straight away. Cause I'll just treat people like they're my best mates from the start.
We hit it off straight away.
Yeah. And if you don't get it back, you don't get it back. And then I just don't really worry about it. And some people think that it's like a bit full on, or maybe it's fake or whatever, but I'm just like, here's who I am. If you're on board, you're on board. If you're not, you're not.
Yeah.
And by doing that, you can it's like, say if spend a week, like I'd talk to you here and there, and then because I'm trying to figure you out. It's like you can't figure someone out in a week and then go off and know them, expect to have like a friendship after that, where it's what I feel like if you show all your cards and be 100% yourself from the start, then it can, I don't know, it's like maybe that's what breaks barriers down to where you can have like a legit friendship without really having that much time around each other.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because some people are a little, they're slower to warm into people, and I wonder whether that's the move.
Yeah. Or I don't know. I'm not sure. I think I have my guard up a little, but I don't know. It's like, Jiu-Jitsu is definitely something that I think brings people. It's like you said, it's a sort of a
common ground.
Yeah, it's common ground. Yeah, even this year I met some good people on the camp, like really, really cool people, and it's just from everywhere. There was a couple of people that came back last year, the 2 Finnish boys, the Viking Warriors. Yeah,
Dicks out for the boys.
Oh, get the dicks out for the boys. Arto and Giannis. I actually learned his name this year. I didn't know it last year.
Giannis Rebel, right?
Yeah.
He's
good dudes.
Good
Animals,
dude.
mate. You know, self-taught. Well, they aren't self-taught. They're in a gym in
But they
Finland,
are pretty self-taught, really.
Yeah, man. They're leg lock wizards, man. They grab a hold of your foot.
And you got to hit the panic button.
You got to know what you're doing. Yeah. Either get out of there or you know what you're doing. Otherwise, your ankle could be getting sent off and
take it back to Finland.
add it to the wall.
Joe,
yeah, like Big Bad Joe last night. Big Joey Goodall came and rolled at me and Jace last night. He's Olympic, Commonwealth medalist.
So he got third in the Com Games heavyweight, eh?
No, he was third in the world.
Third world titles. Yeah.
In the World Championships, solid boxer, heavyweight boxer, up and coming, future champion in my opinion. But he loves jiu-jitsu and he came and rolled with us last night, man. He's just a natural athlete, isn't he?
Almost ripped my fucking leg off.
Almost took JC's foot back with him, man.
He's 104 kilos.
104 kilos of solid Australian animal, man. That's what he is. You know, when you like coming from Ireland, I always pictured like Craig Jones, and Big Joey G walking down the beach with a surfboard under their arm. You know, that was my stereotypical, Aussie, stereotypical Aussie dude. You know, with the hat on, with the corks hanging over, with a surfboard under his arm, like in a can of Foster strolling down the beach. Yeah, it's not like that. But
oh fuck! But it is like that with them. So he came and rolled. I think he would have only trained a handful of times.
Yeah, a dozen times maybe.
But you can just feel like it's crazy because you can just feel an athlete. Like that motherfucker's a legit athlete.
Yeah.
And like I didn't really go on top. I just sort of like played guard with him. But like fuck, there was some stuff that he was doing that's just like so impressive. Like people don't get that kind of coordination until like later stages of jiu-jitsu.
He's put serious amount of hours into training. Even we went away to Byron for the weekend. That was half the reason I came here, see you, and then go to Byron with the boys for the weekend. Stayed in one of my mates' beach houses in Broken Heads. But he is a phenomenal athlete. Big Joey G is, man. Solid dude. You're not the type of dude you want to have on top of you, that's for damn sure.
We were watching some of his fights last night, and it's like his fucking forearms. He's like he's got the longest wrist to elbow I've ever seen. Yeah. And he throws fucking uppercuts like front kicks.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy though.
Solid, yeah.
It's like so much leverage, eh?
He's really technical as well. Like I said, we went to Byron and he was going through some of the systems that he's trying to introduce. Not introduce into boxing, but he's trying to come up with his own little system, I think. I think jiu-jitsu has opened his mind to systematically breaking things down. I think that's something that boxing is missing. Yeah. In relation to, like, there's no sort of a set way of, although his coach Glenn has his own little system inside the boxing game, but I think it's an open market there. It's an open book at the minute, really. Yeah. Not even if there's someone not trying to make money off it, but I believe there's a lot that boxing can learn from jiu-jitsu in relation to the instructional DVDs, all these different things, all this knowledge that people have that really are...
Do they not do like instructionals for boxing?
Not really, mate. They had one years ago. It was a title, like a 12 or 16 part title DVD collection. I don't know what you'd call it. I remember I downloaded it. It was like Jeff Fennick had a few of them. Yeah. He was showing you how to do some stuff, and there was another Canadian guy that's in Lomachenko's corner. I can't think of his name. He used to train David Lemieux when he was going for the Junior Olympics and stuff. Grey-haired guy. He's a French Canadian dude. But he also had a few DVDs that taught you how to do it. Freddie Roach had some as well, taught you how to punch and stuff. But I just don't think it's not done enough. I don't think it's done enough. I don't know what the reasoning is. Maybe it's not as popular as jiu-jitsu. Maybe there's not as many guys with that sort of
like the knowledge.
Yeah, but that type of way of learning. Maybe it's like trial and error. I'm not quite sure. Jiu-jitsu is a little bit nerdy sometimes when it comes to stuff like that. You know, you've got guys that are really. I was only explaining this to one of the lads that works with me before I went to Thailand. Like, we went out for a few beers one night. There was like a rocket scientist, a carpenter, an electrician.
Was this in Melbourne?
Yeah, a lawyer. Yeah. You know, really and truly, when you're on the mats, you do not know who's on the mats with you. You know, like it's such a vast group of personalities and body types. Yeah. And really personality types. You know, such a different group of people. You know what I'm saying? You don't know
Yeah.
who. Like I think if you go play AFL or you go play soccer, for instance, it's usually tradies. You may have the odd office guy here or there, but it's like the same sort of personality group or personality type.
Yeah, it's very, and the thing with jiu-jitsu, to be like really good at it, you don't have to be an alpha male.
No,
like
not at all.
Yeah, I always find it interesting too, because like, so Callum's a perfect example. So Callum come over, he's a friend of mine from the gym, and he's 24. And you rolled with him, he's a brown belt, like he's a high level dude, and you thought he was my age.
Yeah.
And it's just it's funny because it's, when you're on the mat, it's like its own ecosystem, and there's the way that you can talk. There's so much maturity in the way that Callum can talk to you, and the way that Callum can show you techniques, and he's your elder in that regard, but he's fucking nearly 10 years younger than you.
I know, yeah.
And then as soon as, like then we go upstairs and we're hanging out, and then you're his elder.
Yeah.
It's a very weird kind of thing. And the thing that I love about, one of the things that I love about it, and it's cool too, like, I mean, I feel like now I've been at the gym long enough to where people everyone knows what I do, but I'd never said to people, like, unless they were guys I'd hang out with, that like, I got a podcast or whatever. Unless they asked, I'd be like, I just do a podcast. But, it was up until a couple months ago where people would just ask me what I did. Like, still. And you just go in there, there's no... you could be a fucking garbage man, bro.
Yeah.
But if you're a black belt and you're a fucking...
You're the Don.
You're the Don.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's its own ecosystem. There's its own...
100%.
There's its own hierarchy.
Yeah.
And it's purely based on what you can do. There's no factors. Doesn't matter what fucking gi you wear. Doesn't matter what your hair looks like. Doesn't matter what job you got. Doesn't matter if you got...
Doesn't matter what your social standing is. You can be a billionaire and going onto the mats, and if you've got a fucking white strap around your belt, around your waist, you're just a white belt in there.
And I tell you what, if you're a fucking billionaire... Russell Brand's a perfect example. He just got his blue belt the other day.
Yeah.
That dude's a fucking superstar. And I guarantee there's blue belts in that gym that are fucking legal secretaries that he'll suck their dick for a bit of info. You know what I mean? Like, he's looking at them like, tell me how the fuck you just did that to me. And it's like that. It deletes all the bullshit.
Yeah.
That, like, the
Social
materialism.
stigma. Yeah, it's gone.
And I mean, even just to the uniform thing at my gym, everyone has to wear the same uniform.
Yeah.
You don't even get a chance at our gym to, like, if you've got an old dirty gi or it's from 20 years ago and you can't afford to get the new thing versus a fresh like myself, I would be the prime example of being a fucking wearing all the flash best shit you could buy because I'm a knob like that. But, like, there's no disparity even in, like, when you wear a gym that's got uniforms. You can't even pick a person out that isn't well off, or whereas I feel like, I think it's the same principle of like a school uniform. Like, you get kids that if you make everyone wear all black shoes and all black socks, and you can't pick out the poor kid as easy. So it's just it's very interesting the way that ecosystem doesn't discriminate, and it's just so clear on who the fucking Don is every time you're on the mat.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Not a massive fan of the uniforms, but yeah, I do agree. I agree with you. You don't know who's who or what's what. Once you get onto the mats, it's a different world. Everything from the external world is left, and the external world, it's just, that's it.
And I think that's probably the reason that, because people will say, like, it's a humbling experience. I think obviously you're getting fucking choked, and you're getting shown where your weaknesses are, and you can't hide from it. Like, you don't get a choice. If you roll with this guy, you're getting fucked up.
Yeah.
And you have to be humble. You can't be a little bitch about it. You got to take your lickings. But I also think there is an element of just that where it's like all that other shit doesn't matter when you're in there for the, say you spend 7 hours a week. It doesn't matter that you're a carpenter. It doesn't matter that you've got
a difference what
it's and I think it's just like a true self. It's based on the skills that you've got at the time, and then I think you do take that with you outside of the gym
100%.
And I mean I know, like, doing well at the state titles, like I got champ. But I felt humble from it. You know, like, you'd think that if you won something that was like that, and it's been a goal, and you've been fucking working your ass off to get it, that you'd be like, get puffed up.
Because you go back to the gym and get your ass spanked.
Yeah, true.
You can just make a difference how many medals you have around your neck. Go to the gym. There's some dude that won them 10 years ago. He's going to show you what's up, and it's as simple as that. Respect is earned. It's not given. It's not given in there. It's earned. You have to earn respect off as you said, your elders, which are the guys who have higher belts than you. You're not too long getting your ass handed to you. And one thing that I have, there's a guy called Sean. I'm not going to try pronounce his second name from our gym in well, he's St Kilda or Absolute Collingwood, not St Kilda. I train in Absolute St Kilda. But when he got his black belt, he recently said, you know, your worst day is someone's best day.
Yeah.
So you go in, and something that will stick in my head forever. You know, it's something like you go into the gym and get tapped by someone who's never tapped you before. They've left the gym feeling like, you know,
$1 million.
$1 million, bro. They've left the gym thinking, I can't believe I just got him. And you've left the gym going, fuck.
Can't believe he got me.
I can't believe he got me.
Yeah.
And it's like it works both ways, because you're going, okay, I need to put that work in now. I need to figure out why he got me with that. And even sometimes you're flowing and someone will catch you. Still can, you know, you're going, fuck, I still shouldn't have got caught though. I should have been on the ball a little bit more. But it's definitely good. It's a life changer. I'd strongly advise anyone who hasn't tried jiu-jitsu to get out and try it. Even my sister, she's 2 years younger than me, so she's just after turning 30. She just picked up jiu-jitsu probably 6 months ago.
Really?
Lorraine, yeah. She just got her first stripe last week.
No shit.
She's strung out, bro. She's going like 4 times a week. I can't believe how much she's after getting stuck into it. But she's training in SBG Nace, yeah. So
is that that's the McGregor's gym, right?
It's McGregor's gym, yeah. But John Kavanagh's gym is SBG Ireland, which is the headquarters. But McGregor trains mostly in SBG Nace. I think he's out at the minute with a thumb injury, but he usually trains a lot in SBG Nace, and that's where my sister's training too. She's met him and got pictures with him, and yeah, so it's been really, really good. Peter Cleary trains there. Sergey, McGregor's wrestling coach,
guy,
yeah, he owns the gym.
Yeah,
Peter Cleary, I believe, owns it. I'm not quite sure what way it's broken down, but it's just a good environment. No one has any ego. Same as everywhere. Well, most gyms that I've ever trained in, especially with jiu-jitsu. I think I've trained in a lot of boxing gyms, and it tends to be there's a lot of when you walk into a boxing gym, it's sort of like everyone's head pops up and they're there going,
who's this guy?
Who's the new dude walking in? Who's going to be the first guy to test themselves against him? Yeah, it does happen a little bit in jiu-jitsu too.
It does a little bit, but
it's not as much. It's usually like we'll start off. I think it's friendlier. I feel like in a boxing gym, you know, people will sort of are a little bit standoffish till they see what you're made of.
Yeah, and because there's more consequence.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But I was actually talking to Big Joey about this at the weekend. I was just saying, because he was going, yeah, and I was drifting back thinking, there's not much in the difference, but that's the only difference I could sort of think of. The boxing gym is sort of, there mightn't be as many people who will approach it to introduce themselves, and sort of you introduce themselves to you until they see a spar, until they see what you're made of, and then then it'll go from there. But yeah, it's a game changer. As I said, I strongly advise anyone to do it. Give it a chance. Don't just go once or twice and say it's not for me. Don't want people sweating on me. I don't want this, that and the other. But it's really, as you know, it's a life changer.
Man, I had...
What would you be doing? What would you be doing if it wasn't for jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, it's it gave me, like, I wasn't one of those people that, like, I was looking for something. It's almost like I found something I didn't know I was looking for, if that makes sense. And like, I've always, like, before I was doing jiu-jitsu, I was like heavy into golf. And then I was riding my mountain bike a lot, and I've always done sport. I've always done it, and it would have been the same with you for boxing. Yeah. But it just, I don't know. It feels like the jiu-jitsu thing it's satisfied a lot of needs. Yeah, yeah. And like I was talking to Joe about it yesterday, because, you know, I'm fucking rolling with a professional athlete, like a legitimate professional athlete that had 34 kilos of weight on me. Yeah, yeah. And all I see is just a problem to solve. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until after we went upstairs and we were hanging out and watching his fights, I was like, this motherfucker is a killer.
I knew that already.
Here I am just trying to fucking choke the shit out of this cunt.
I knew that already.
And it's like,
he's a don.
And I knew what he did, but it doesn't give.
No, I know.
You don't have it, and in the moment, and I think that's what I do like about it. And, you know, like some of there's definitely people at the gym. Because the way I roll, I just go black. I don't know who. I don't see the person. I don't think. I just go fucking. I just go black, and then it's just one problem after the next, and then the buzzer goes, and you fucking snap out of it. Hey, fuck yeah, good work. That was sick. But it's just problem after problem, and I think it's the same with everything though that I've done and I didn't really. It wasn't until my Uncle Glenn. Did you listen to the podcast with my Uncle Glenn? Fucking legend. He's a mountain bike dude. And I didn't realize that everything I'd done through my life was all about quietening down the noise. And I just, with mountain biking, you know, like, you saw me riding the
I did, yeah.
mountain bike
pulling
today.
wheelies down the middle of fucking Burley, man. I was there, what the fuck? I was on some high Nelly. You know what I mean? Sitting like West Coast style with the handlebars up, some girl's bike with one gear special. JC Mack comes by and he's fucking pulling wheelies.
But I mean, that's just all we did. And like, you know, we'd go down these fucking, just these, like literally to the top of a fucking rainforest and then ride down wet, slippery roots and rocks. It's just, again, it's like, I like what Rogan says, it's like high level problem solving. It takes you out. It takes you out of reality.
You can't think of anything else, man.
Because you get fucked up.
Yeah.
And you know, with mountain bikes, I knock my fucking teeth out. Like I've had, you get hurt, and it's like the greater the risk, the more intense the focus has to be.
Yeah, it seems to be. I used to ride racehorses, a steeplechase jockey when I from the age.
You're fucking mad. I can't
from the age of
believe you did
14 to 19, yeah, and I just got too big. But it was the same, and even when I boxed, it was the same sort of a. It's like time slows down when you're actually in a competition. It's the very same feeling for me.
Yeah.
As being in a steeplechase race, as being in a boxing fight, as being in a jiu-jitsu match. I felt like it's the same, like time slows down. Or it goes real quick, but it's slow. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like you're almost in a matrix.
Have you? Yeah, dude. I've had times where I've called you on the way home from training and I've literally said I was in the matrix tonight. Yeah. And I like, now that I'm getting to be better at it, I love watching myself. I love watching stuff back in my head after the fact and like knowing what was just instinct. Like, I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy is like the human instinct element of it, where it's like, I did something the other day against a guy and he had me pinned for pretty much the whole round. And I was like, fuck, I shouldn't be here. And it was just, I was doing everything I could just to try and get back to a position I could attack. I just got the tiniest bit of elbow and knee in. The guy stood up, and as he stood up, I fucking armbarred him. I was in side control for 6 minutes, and then just like that,
split second, everything changed.
And it was just instinct. I'd never done it before. I'd never drilled it. I've never learned it. It was just instinct, human instinct. And I think that, to me, that's like intriguing. And I think that it's like there's something to that. And if you can start tapping into, like, it's like human potential that you didn't know you had. And it's on a micro scale. Like, we're in a safe environment. We're in the gym. The dude's my friend. It's like any other Monday morning. But it's just that bit of instinct. And like, I don't know, I just feel like you can, you have those like little wins and you get those little bits of instinct, and then you like, it's like you can carry them over into like your normal life. And you just, I don't know, it's like you trust it. You trust that you're going to do the right thing when the time comes
to it.
I don't know,
because you're repeatedly doing it every day. Well, whatever, 7 hours a week, 3 hours a week, whatever amount of times you're doing it. But I agree, you trust. Like I was saying earlier, I now trust my learning. I understand the way I learn.
Yeah,
I understand. Like the difference between this year's camp and last year's camp was, I panicked. Come Wednesday, I was like, oh my God, so much information. I don't know what to do. Like, am I the only one that's on this course that doesn't know what's happening?
This last year?
Yeah. This year, it was natural. Let it flow through. I know so for me, the way I learn is, the way Lockie teaches is, we'll do, as you know, we'll do a set move for the week, and then the following week it'll be a move which is linked to that. Yeah. He's a genius. Man's an absolute genius. Blessed to be training there. He's the best in the world, in my opinion. But I knew that usually if I learn something, it takes 4 to 5 weeks for it to click.
Yeah.
And what we usually do, I think it's like a 5 or 6 week cycle where we'll go over stuff for 5 to 6 weeks that are linked, and then at the end of that 5 to 6 weeks, we go through the whole lot again briefly for 1 full week. We like we do everything that we learned over that, and then it's like it automatically sinks in. You go, boom, okay. I now remember that, and that's it, and it starts working for me from there on now. So I trust the process now.
Yeah,
I guess that's what you're getting at. Jiu-Jitsu has taught me that, to trust the process.
Yeah,
it's gonna work. Just stick with it, and you can't get any worse. It's another thing, as simple as it may sound, and as idiotic as it may sound, that the more you do something, you can't get any worse.
Yeah.
But Jiu-Jitsu has taught me that you can't get any worse. If you keep practicing at something, whether it be throwing darts, whether it be whatever it may be, if you keep throwing darts at a wall or at a board, you're going to get better at it.
Yeah.
It's just something that's going to happen.
No.
Some people get better quicker. Some people get, it takes more time, but you cannot get any worse. You can't.
Well, there's the guy that we went up for his birthday in the hill yesterday, Millsy. He's a fucking awesome dude, and like he'd say like, I've accepted the fact that I'm a slow learner.
Yeah.
But he's fucking good.
Yeah.
He shows up,
Yeah.
and if you roll, he's a fucking tough roll.
Yeah.
And he's just there. He just shows up. And like, you look at dudes that, like, you look at anyone that has a purple belt or a brown belt, it's like, they're a nasty motherfucker.
Yeah.
And it's like, they might be slow learners, but guess what? They're still a fucking brown belt.
They showed up every day.
Yeah, they just kept showing up. And like, Shane posted a picture yesterday of when he got his first stripe off Fabio. And he's like super young. Fabio looks super young. And like, that dude's a wizard now. He's got his own academy. You don't know where you can be.
Yeah.
Like, when he got that first fucking stripe on his white belt, he didn't know that in 6-7 years time he was going to own an academy with that guy. But it's like, again, just showing up, just keep doing it.
And you build the respect. It's one thing I'm self-employed, as an employer that I've learned, showing up is something that has to be respected,
Yeah.
And that's another thing that obviously I keep referring back to. That's another thing I've learned from Jiu-Jitsu. People who show up have to be respected. They show up every day.
Yeah.
They show up on time. They don't mess around. There's no excuses. Everyone can come up with excuses. There's a book full of them. There's 100 million excuses you can use to dip out of going and putting the work in. But you have to respect someone who shows up on time every time.
Yeah.
Or just shows up. Shows up all the time, and you see it in the gym. If you show up, you have to get better.
Yeah.
It's a simple law. Show up, you're going to get better. It's as simple as that. And
and I guess that's what I was saying before about, like, I didn't think that there was like all these areas in my life where I was like, I need something. I need, and you do, like, there are people like,
Well, for me it was, I had boxed. I started boxing at 22 in New York. I boxed in a little gym in Yonkers. And then I moved to Gleason's gym, trained there for 3 years, really famous gym. Mike Tyson trained there, Roberto Duran, to name a few. Polly Malignaggi, who's just been in the news recently. They all trained there. And then I moved to Perth and started boxing under Sean Nash and had a few fights under Sean. Won a state title and won a few other little titles like that. And then I had a void. Like, I was like 26, 27. And like, I had nothing. I was going, okay, I'm going down to the boxing club. It's predominantly kids I'm boxing with, like 15, 16-year-old kids. I mean, there was no sort of...
No real challenge.
Yeah, there was no camaraderie. There was no... that's the one thing I like about Jiu-Jitsu. It's like we're brothers,
Yeah.
In a way where I couldn't have a conversation with anyone. And that's nothing reflecting on the gym. It's just the state of boxing.
Yeah.
No one wants to get punched in the face when they're in their late 20s. I started late. So for me, it was like there was a massive void there. I just didn't know what to do with myself. I was hitting the bag in the basement and I was going to boxing classes and sparring random dudes and sparring randomly in different gyms. And then I ended up finding Jiu-Jitsu.
What got you into it first off?
I watched McGregor. Funny story. I watched McGregor versus Mendes.
Yeah,
and
right.
McGregor kept catching Mendes with this spinning heel kick. I was going, God, I'd love to learn how to kick. I never threw a kick in my life. So I ended up going to this Taekwondo class in Perth, Western Australia. And I was there for a couple of weeks. I was doing some spinning shit, as the Diaz brothers would say. And I was really liking it. It was a bit refreshing. It was cool. There was adults there. There was kids there. I also wanted to find something that my son could do. I only had one son at the time. I now have two. But I wanted to find something that I could do with him. And I really didn't want him taking slaps to the head at such a young age. If he wants to do it later in life, he can. But I didn't want him taking any trauma to his brain. So I went down, and then I was doing some Taekwondo for a couple of weeks. And then... it was an Irish man who was taking the class, but another Irish man came in who was doing Kempo and Krav Maga, and it was like a self-defense course we were going to do for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh cool, this sounds good. And we done some stuff on the ground, and I remember I got on the ground with this, like, he was maybe 5'6", 5'7", probably in his early 60s, late 50s, early 60s.
Really?
Maybe 60 kilos, and he fucking fucked me up, bro. Smoked me. He let me get mount. He booked his hips, wrapped my arm, got me over, sat up and armbar me. I was going, what the fuck just happened to me there? Did that really just happen? I was going, I don't give a fuck how many boxing classes you've done, how many state titles you've done. That cunt just fucked you up. So it was just the vulnerability of at that very, I was there, okay, I have to learn how to do this. And it was like a challenge to me then. And then soon after I moved to Queensland. And there was, funnily enough, it was like it was meant to be, 2 streets down, I moved to a place in Brisbane called Toowong, and there was a Queensland Martial Arts, was like 2 blocks away. So I said, okay, I've got no more excuses.
No excuses, yeah.
Massive Joe Rogan fan, listening to him talking about Jiu Jitsu and all that type of stuff. So I said I'll go down and give it a try. That was like probably two and a half years ago. Went down, done about a half a dozen classes there, well, a dozen classes maybe. Loved it. Actually injured myself the first time I went. We were doing some stand-up, trying to takedowns from stand-up, obviously from stand-up, but yeah, we were doing some takedown stuff, and I jarred my back. Had to take like a week off work, and I just couldn't wait to get back though.
Did you watch like heaps of shit on YouTube the whole time, or?
Yeah, oh yeah, from that time that old guy submitted me, that was me. I was
really?
Strung out, bro. I was strung out, and that was like within 2 weeks of moving to. I couldn't believe it. This, old man had just
fuck your shit.
Fucked me up, man. And like instantly, it wasn't a real fight, but he said, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Boom, buzzer went, and he just booked me off. And like I had a dominant position. Obviously we weren't throwing punches. Even if we were, it wouldn't have made a difference. I didn't know anything about it. But it was such a shock to my system.
Yeah.
That this guy could do that to me. So yeah, went there, jarred my back the first time I ever done jiu-jitsu.
Do you remember what the takedown was?
It was, I do remember it. We were trying to...
Was it gi or no gi?
Gi.
Yeah.
Gi. We were trying to skip under the arm. We were trying to get our head under the arm and frame up with our heads. And instead of using my knees...
You just bent straight down.
I was bending with my neck and popped the bottom of my back. I'd done it many times with boxing. I actually had so many issues with the bottom right hand corner of my back with boxing because of the stance.
Yeah, one-sided.
One-sided, but if you leave your right foot behind when you're throwing a right hand, you'll jar your back. For me, personally, it probably means I wasn't throwing the punch correctly, but it used to happen from time to time. I had some issues with it. So I popped the bottom of my back, had to take 2 weeks off work. I was going, fuck this jiu-jitsu shit, But then I ended up going, no, I'm going back. Still like strung out in it, watching DVDs, watching videos, watching as much information as I could. Sorry. And went straight back down again once my back got better. I told the guy I wasn't doing any stand-up.
Yeah, I still feel like that every fucking time.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this shit.
Yeah, I'm still lacking lots of in every area, but especially in the stand-up side of things. I'd love to do wrestling, but I'm a little bit afraid with my knees.
Yeah, I'm the same.
But so yeah, that was it. Started there, and then I moved shortly after. I'd done about a dozen classes there and moved houses, and I was going back to Ireland. So I stopped probably for 3 or 4 months. Had a little bit of a gym in my basement in the house I was living in, so just got back boxing again, staying fit and healthy and doing some weights, and then ended up moving to Brothers Jiu Jitsu, which is a Peter Bean affiliate. Yeah. Which you've came and rolled with me before, and it's up in Brisbane. Two really good dudes,
good
man.
Dudes,
yeah, really, really good dudes. Small gym, family, and like my son started there as well, sort of the same time as me, and that was it. Went to Lockheed's, went to Absolute St Kilda a year ago by accident.
Really? So you didn't know about Lockheed before you went there?
No, man. What happened was, I obviously knew who Craig was,
Yeah.
I knew Craig.
Fuck Craig Jones.
Yeah, fuck Craig. Yeah, fuck Craig Jones. But I ended up, I went to one of Craig's class. Craig just came back from America, and he put up on his Instagram about if anyone wants to do any PTs, privates, or...
I see you've done a private with Craig.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, if anyone wants to do any privates or anyone want to go to his class. So I felt I wasn't at the level to do a private with Craig Jones. I was going, I can't be, I'm only a white belt, I can't be asking him to do privates with me. It's a different sort of mentality than I don't know. But so I ended up going to one of his classes in Absolute Collingwood, which where you done the podcast with him. Went there, done one of his classes, and he said, you should come. I had literally just got my blue belt a week before I went to Absolute to start training in Absolute. So I went to Craig's class on the Tuesday.
Fresh blue belt,
bro. I didn't know what a heel hook was. Wasn't too bad in Collingwood. Collingwood's probably one of the sort of, it's more MMA based than St Kilda. St Kilda's pure jiu-jitsu. So it wasn't too bad. And then he said, come over to the advanced class on Wednesday. I couldn't get in because they didn't know who I was, and they wanted to see if I was capable of. I told him I just got my blue belt, and he went, maybe you should, the guy who was on the desk, he said maybe you should just come to a normal class first and we'll assess you and see how you go. I said okay. So I went over on the Thursday night to Absolute, St Kilda, and that was okay. It was gi, so I didn't. Went on the Friday night, right? I wrote this guy called Boris. If you're listening, Boris, fuck you. Oh, he's a good dude, but I ended up rolling with him, and he tapped me like 50 times at least with heel hooks, just like heel hook. I felt like throwing my blue belt into the bin and quitting. I was just going, I don't deserve this thing, but it's just a different game.
Yeah,
it's just a different game. So
that's how I felt with you on Friday.
Yeah,
I was just like, fuck this shit.
It's just a different game, though. You know, so if you don't do it,
it actually has fired me up a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah,
like I want to go maybe once every couple weeks, just get with some boys that do it and just start figuring it out, because why would you ignore 50% of the
why would you ignore 50% of the human body? Why, Jason?
Fucking weirdo.
Why?
He's a genius.
He's a genius.
But yeah, like when there's like a whole area of sport that you don't do.
You don't do, and people are so afraid of it, man. But genuinely, I've touch wood, touch every bit of timber I can. But genuinely, I've never got an injury. I've said this to you before, that the Estima lock, I think, is the most dangerous move in jiu-jitsu. It's the only one that's ever injured me. Now, maybe people are sitting there thinking, oh, okay, but if you get heel hooked and it does work and you end up popping your knee, well, then tap, man.
Yeah.
As soon as someone gets you, it's an eye contact thing. Like, you know, as soon as someone gets you in that position, if you want to be a tough guy and play heel hooks, you're going to get your knee blown out.
Yeah.
It's as easy, it's as simple as that.
So for people that are listening that don't know jiu-jitsu, basically there's a move, and it's sort of like recently come into prominence again, like maybe in the last 3 or 4 years, but basically you'll use your legs to control a person's upper thigh, and then you'll basically expose their heel, which is sort of ends up down by your rib cage, and then you'll rotate their heel counterclockwise and then put pressure into their knee clockwise, and the force that is generated by the heel, because it's such a long lever of your body, puts so much like rotational force on your knee. If you let someone do that and you don't tap, or you roll and add any extra pressure, you completely destroy the ligaments in your knee. So mechanically, it's a very dangerous position. And I mean, every position in jiu-jitsu is mechanically dangerous. Like, that's what it's designed to do.
Kimura is the same.
Kimura, have you seen the videos of people's fucking arms snapping in Kimuras?
I think the best way to explain a footlock is, okay, if you put your foot into a vice grips and try to spin and do a 360.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to happen. That's the same thing that's going to happen if you have your heel and you try to spin. It's just someone has your foot locked down, and you're going to blow your every little ligament in your knee completely out. The thing beyond repair sometimes.
I think like everything is dangerous, but I think what makes the heel hook so dangerous is it's not more dangerous, but I think it's just the time that it takes for that injury to repair. Like if you don't tap to a Kimura, you break your humerus bone, 6 weeks, you're in fucking plaster, maybe you need some surgery for some metal, you get back and you're ready to rip. But if you fuck your knee,
you might never come back.
So I think that's the thing. But I mean, you heel hooked me fucking 50 times the other day.
Yeah.
And like, it's fine, you just tap early and tap off.
And I'm not yanking. It's not as if I'm going to sit there and pull on your heel.
I'm not going to put hard that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Or for anyone who doesn't know about it, or who is interested in learning about it, there's a great documentary we only watched this morning before we come down to do the podcast, which is Stuart Cooper and Dean Lister, which is brilliant. He was like one of the original leg locking experts, and he's got a really, really good documentary which Stuart Cooper's only put up in the last couple of days, which explains the sort of history, a little bit of the history behind the heel hooking and leg lock scene. It's like a completely different game. There's some guys in absolute St Kilda that just specialise. That's what they do. They grab a hold of your foot. They might have 20 kilos. You could have 20, 30 kilos on these guys. If they get a hold of your foot, it's over. Not only are they snatching your foot up, but they're dropping your hips down onto the mat, getting your two legs together. So basically, like you're hog tying someone.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Hog tying someone and snatching on their heel. That's what it basically is. Like the likes of Jeremy Skinner and all these, like Craig Jones, Lockie, all these guys. They get a hold of your foot, man. You're in big trouble.
There's definitely a part of, like, because we don't do any of it at our gym, as you know. There's definitely a part of me that enjoys the fact that I'm gonna learn. Like, I'm learning more, because I feel like you can definitely branch off.
Yeah.
And you can literally win the world championship just on knowing those systems.
Yeah.
So there is a part of me where like I'm never going to be an 80cc champion. So it's like I am grateful that I do get forced to really focus on the rest of jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu, yeah. That's one of the reasons why in our gym you can't, as a white belt, you can't do heel hooks. You can learn them, but no one can do them on you. And
you can't do them.
You can't do them. You can do leg like straight ankle locks, but you can't do any heel hooks, which I think is excellent, because otherwise you start falling back. For anyone who knows anything about jiu-jitsu, you end up falling back instead of trying to pass the guard, which is the legs. The guard is the legs in jiu-jitsu. Instead of trying to pass the guard, you end up sitting back on a heel hook or doing a leg drag and sitting back on a heel hook. So it's that there's a method behind Lockie's way of thinking. Yeah, you can't start doing that as white belts, even early blue belts. It's almost like an unfair advantage for someone who doesn't know what they're doing. Yeah, as you know. Yeah, it's a different game.
But it's definitely something that I do want to put time into. But again, because I want to be rounded. I want to know
exactly everything.
I want to know all of the things.
You'll never know everything, but get as much knowledge as you possibly can.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, you will never know everything.
No, never.
It's fucking crazy.
Especially with your body type. You might know everything that suits your body. No, you probably won't still, but certain things will not suit your body type. It's just the way it is. So small people have certain moves that work for them. Big people have certain moves that work for them. So it's all relative. Yeah. That's why. Yeah. It's that's what makes it even crazier. Again, there's so many little
games within games within games
for days, man. For days and days and days. You can.
And it's crazy too. Like with me and my triangles, like I'd say that's probably my specialty. And then you get so good at one thing, and then people know that you're good at that thing. So then they start giving you other things because they're giving you those other things. Then you might get really good at straight footlocks because people are avoiding. Yeah. They don't want to go into that place, and then you go down that rabbit hole, and it's a crazy deal.
You have to be something I'm very conscious of. I'm only early in my jiu-jitsu journey. I'm doing it 2.5 years, but something I'm very conscious of not becoming reliant on the one
thing that gets you the W's.
So Kimura, I like the Kimura. I like the Kimura trap. It's something that works well for me, but I just have to be careful not to rely on it solely. Otherwise, you end up getting really, really good at that part of your game. So I'm always trying to branch out and learn new things and making sure that I am rolling with people who make me uncomfortable. I have a bit of a system. Again, since we've done this study early this year, where he was trying to figure out the best way for people to learn. And I think I found my sweet spot where we usually in the fundamentals classes we'll have 3 roles, in the intermediate classes we'll have 5 roles. So let's just say, for instance, we have 3 roles. I'm trying to roll with 3 different types of guys. I'm trying to roll with a guy that I submit quite easily. I'm trying to roll with a guy who I sort of have a 50-50 with. I might tap him, he might tap me. And I'm trying to roll with a guy who usually taps me. So someone that's way more advanced than me. I believe that's the best way for me to learn, because I think I have the best of all worlds that way. I'm learning from the guy who's basically fucking me up. I'm having a good scrap with the guy who I'm good with, and then I'm trying new stuff with the guy who I know more than, or who I'm doing it longer than. Yeah. So I think that's been working well for me. I really took a lot of confidence this year going to the camp and rolling with people that I'd rolled with last year, and because there were so many blue belts on the camp in Thailand, I felt as if I more than held my own with everyone who was on the same level as me, especially at the blue belt level, even some of the purple belt level. So I took great confidence in that. I walked away and went, okay, this is stuff is starting to click. I'm really starting to learn now. Which but sometimes you need to be assured of these things. It's like human nature, you know these things in the back of your head. It seems like it's common sense.
Well, it's like proof of concept.
Exactly.
Because it's like you've got a concept in your mind of where you're at, and you can feel pretty solid in that concept, but until you test the waters, then you're not going to get that confirmation and proof of the concepts that you have in your head. It's the same with competing. For sure.
I agree. Competing is really is the best way to find out. But it's such a weird thing, competing, because you have some guys who don't do too well on the mats. I find it more so in boxing, maybe because I haven't been doing jiu-jitsu long enough, but you have some guys that box in sparring, and you go, this guy, I'm lighting them up every time we spar, come fight night, mate, he shows up and he's tearing through people.
Yeah.
It's just like when the bright lights are on, that's when that's when your true character comes through. When everyone's there looking at you.
Yeah.
When everyone's there to see what's happening and what's not happening. So that's the true test of character, I think, is either competing. A competition. It's a true test of character. How good are you? Okay, let's see you competing. Anyone can come and be a hero on the mats. Let's see how good you are on showtime, you know what I mean?
It's crazy because like I have such like a weird relationship with the competitions. Like I've done a lot.
You've competed tons, bro. Yeah.
But I don't like it at all.
No.
Like the lead up to it's fucked.
It's nerve-wracking.
The nerves, the like self-doubt that you go through, but it's like
having 3 shits, 12 pisses, fucking
fuck, bro. Yeah, you're just pissing the whole time that you're there. You're going,
why the fuck is everyone here? All my friends are here. They're all drinking beers.
Yeah,
they're doing this. They're doing that. Why am I doing this for free?
You feel like the weight of your whole academy on your fucking shoulders.
Especially with Khalid, man. You guys are 50 deep every time someone's going to compete, so there's a massive amount of pressure. But that builds character.
Pressure makes diamonds.
Yeah, man.
And then, but there is a thing like, because I think I'm one of those people where like I'll give it I train fucking hard, but I think that it's not until the competition comes, like there's just a different person that will come out, and I do like that competition can bring that person out. And I think that the longer I'm training, the more I feel like I can tap into that. And spark that shit, homie. Spark. The more that I'm training, I think I can actually channel that guy in the training room. But like, I don't know, there's something different about when the shit actually counts. There is the people there watching you. Again,
show up. Who's going to show up on fight day?
Yeah.
Who's going to show up and get in and show their true character?
But Ash in this bitch too.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a weird thing, but it's like that instinct too. There's like an instinct that comes out in that competition, and it's just like, where the fuck does this guy live all the time? You know, like where is that guy? Like I need that dude when I'm fucking walking down the street, or I need that dude when I'm in business, or like I don't know. I feel like it gives you that there's confidence that person exists within yourself, and it's because that dude's been tested. And I don't know, it's like, because there's so much like self-doubt, man. Like I'd go like right before I'm gonna go to sleep sometimes, like I got the nationals coming up, and I'm like, fucking, you have dreams of getting armbarred in the first round, and then you fly to Melbourne, it's all for nothing. And I don't know, you've got to beat that negative voice, and it's like the more you beat that negative voice over and over, the fucking quieter it gets, to where you just live your life as a dude that like doesn't have that negativity.
Yeah, but it's like David Goggins says, you're just callousing the brain, you're callousing the mind, you're making the mind tougher. I think that's what that is, in my opinion. I think battling with your demons constantly, and there's nothing like that competition. It's not like playing, and I don't mean to sound disrespectful to anyone who plays footy or rugby or anything like that. It's just not the same. It's not the same. It's you're doing it by yourself. Everyone's looking at you. It's like if you lose, you lose, it's not, oh well, I didn't get past the ball, or I didn't none of that shit. It's you. It's on you, man. You didn't show up, you didn't perform, you didn't do whatever. So I believe that's an added pressure, in my opinion, to an already high pressured situation.
Yeah.
You're going to, because it's a fight, mate. It really is a fight. People think, jiu-jitsu is a little bit more. I hear a lot of the MMA guys saying that there's a lot less pressure, which I'd imagine there is.
Yeah.
You don't have the pressure of getting knocked out in front of everyone, but you do have the pressure of looking like an idiot or performing badly. Because that's all it is with me. I'm not afraid of getting hurt. I'm just afraid of letting myself down. I know what I'm capable of. So if I don't show up, I beat myself up. I'm going, why the fuck did I not show up today? What was wrong? What did I do wrong? I've been doing this in the gym. I've been doing that in the gym. But again, you can do what you want in the gym. It's when the bright lights are on. It's who shows up.
There's definitely a thing to like how hard you can train. Like, so when after the state titles, one of our coaches, Hennon, who you know good, he was in Bali, and then he come back and he's like, what was different? Why'd you do good this time? Like, why'd you do so well? And I was like, I was just like, I just fucking trained so hard. And like, I honestly got to the point, like there was a point when I got to the comp, I was just like, fuck it. I couldn't do anything more. I was watching fucking DVDs. I was training my ass off.
You've done your best.
Myself. And then there's a comfort that comes with that in a way, You know what I mean? Like you just go, fuck it. Like I can't, if I get beat here,
what else can
I couldn't do anything about it. I've done everything I fucking can to avoid getting beat by this guy, and it didn't happen. It's fine. It is what it is. And then there's a certain like attitude in life where I think that like how many people truly give it everything, and then they can get to, you know, say you get to a business meeting. You've got a meeting with your boss. You got to present what you've been working on for the last 6 months. You know when you feel fucking nervous and fucked up inside and like, oh, fuck. It's because there's probably a part of you that knows that you could have done more.
Yeah.
But it's like when you can get to that point, anything you do in life, it's probably the same with raising kids, the same with owning a business, the same with the way you eat, the same, like, if you fucking get to critical junctures in life and you get to an event or a big meeting or whatever that opportunity is for you to show, you know, your true colors. If you have that nervous energy inside, it's probably because you didn't do everything you could.
You could have done, yeah.
You know, and it was just, I think that's probably what I took the most out of that comp for me is I got there and I wasn't nervous. I was nervous all the way up to it until the time it was there to go. And then I was like, you know what?
I've done everything.
It is what it is. I couldn't do anything more. I fucking tried my hardest.
Well, I know how hard you train, so that's something that you obviously could have done in every competition. I know you train like an animal, so I know that's something that you could have done every single time you've competed. But obviously, that's just coming with experience as well. You know, that side of things.
And I think that like, I don't know, maybe it's like a bit of experience of like accepting that you have done as much. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Well, what else can you do? I mean, I've done like you said, I've done everything I possibly can. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
But
it's just letting go, isn't it? Letting go of emotion instead of trying to hold on to an emotion and letting it ruin the moment or whatever you're going to compete in. You just have to let it go, move on. You know, compete your best like you did.
And like
smoke some fools.
Yeah, and if I lost, I fucking lost. You know, and it's like, I don't know. I'm glad I didn't, but at the same, and like with nationals coming up, it's the same thing. It's like I was saying to you this morning, I was like, fuck, I know in my heart I probably could be training more, but I mean, I'm giving it, like, you know, another big thing, like I had a couple of times training where like I just didn't show up with the right attitude and I'd have shit sessions. Yeah. And I really got into the habit of like, you know, do you guys you don't really line up before class, do you?
Before class, no. We just no.
Just shake hands at the end, eh?
At the end, we line up in belt order and all that sort of stuff. We shake hands or slap hands.
But yeah, with us, we line up belt order.
Before class,
yeah. Before class.
Does he say? We don't be throwing usses around either.
Yeah, no, we got the us slap.
That's traditional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
We
FAB at its finest.
So yeah, we get there. Fabio maybe say, you know, good training. He does his belt promotions before class too. Like if someone gets a new belt. Yeah, which I fucking think that's cool. Because then you get to train as the belt. Yeah,
everyone comes from like biting at his heels.
Yeah, everyone does come from pretty fucking hard. But yeah, so I got to a thing where like I noticed there was a few times in a row I'd be like, then I'd talk to people. I was a bit flat tonight. Blah blah blah. But like, there were times where I'd go there with a bad attitude, and then I noticed it. I was like, because I really felt it before class in that line. I'd look down, because I'd always look down like, who's here?
So yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. You know, you look and you see. Yeah. Some nights there's people like the classes just aren't stacked, and you're like, I can get through this one. It's relatively easy. But then there's other nights where you look down and you're just like, fuck all this shit.
You know you're going to be called out.
Yeah, I'm about to get fucked up. But and then so I'd notice that I'd be negative in that line, and I'd look and I'd be like, fuck, this is going to be fucking. And you'd have like that negative inner talk. Yeah. And then I noticed it 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, all right, I need to fucking, no matter what frame of mind I'm in, I'm here for 1 hour or 2 hours or however long the class is. The mats own me now. Like I just come in, I have to let go. Whatever else is going on, I'm here to do 100%. Yeah. And that was a good switch that I made, and I think that was part of the reason why maybe I felt prepared, is because I was like, all right, every time you went to training, from the day that you had that realization, like you did do that, and I don't know, maybe that's like part of the reason as well.
Yeah, toughen the mind up before you actually get into that. get to competition. It's the same thing, really. Yeah, you just have to ignore the emotion. Isn't that what the best thing to do is?
Yeah, it's I've been reading that 12 Rules for Life. Have you read that yet?
I haven't. No, I know the author.
It's pretty Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking good, eh?
Yeah.
I read it when it first came out. I actually got the audio book, but he's got a weird voice, like funky voice. So I listened to it for a while, and I was like, fuck, I don't know if I can.
He's Canadian,
Yeah, but it's real. It's like Kermit the Frog voice. Like he has like a real it's real Kermit the Froggy, bro.
I've heard him on Rogan and stuff.
Yeah.
He's
And
a good dude.
so then I like sort of put it down, and then it was funny. I was in like one of those sort of weird moods over the weekend, and I was like, you gotta. And this, I think it's cool, is like because shit's like extreme when you're training or whatever. It's like it highlights more about yourself than if you just live everyday life and you're not really testing yourself.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to work, that's comfortable. You come and go to the same grocery store, cook the same meals
Can't
for dinner.
do it, man.
You do, but a lot of people do.
No, I can't. It frightens me. Being comfortable frightens me. I could easily go work for someone for an hourly rate and probably maybe even do better than I'm doing.
Yeah.
But fuck that shit.
Hey, well,
I am
for real.
about that. Yeah, man.
For real.
I am about that.
But like the thing, I think that the curse with that though is like when you're doing the same thing and it's like super comfortable, like you sort of don't learn anything about yourself. Like your responses are predictable. You're a patterned person. You're just on autopilot, and you're not gonna learn anything that will make you leaps better. You might get incrementally better over time, but like you can get, like if you said 3 weeks or 6 weeks before the Gold Coast Marathon, I'm gonna run that marathon. That's a big extreme change to your life that you're gonna make. That's a big shock to the system. And in 6 weeks, if you train and compete and complete that marathon, you're gonna be a drastically different human being.
100%.
Because you've taken yourself so fucking far.
Pushed yourself to the
out of that.
absolute max.
Yeah, and it's like to the thing is, like David Goggins, that's not the max. You know what I mean?
40%.
That's a fucking that's a stroll in the park for that motherfucker. But to the person X that did it, that is like becoming a fucking astronaut and going to the moon.
Yeah.
It's that big a deal. So it's like you'll learn that much about yourself. There's that much about yourself available again if you do something. You know, you go to like another crazy extreme, you can find just as much out again. But you know, people they won't go that far out of it. So I think whenever you do one of those things, it's like you're gonna learn more in the art of, say, training for a marathon about yourself that you can apply to everyday life. Then, you know, it's not just shit that you're going to use the next time you run a marathon. You're going to use that shit every day of your fucking life.
Yeah, it's hardship.
You know?
Hardship is what it's easy to say sitting here, you know, but yeah, hardship is what I think we all need to grow.
Yeah.
Simple.
There's
in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think like that's what I like with like you're doing that with Jackson, like getting him into stuff early, and like I can see the way that you treat him is like you're sort of, it's like you're aware of that.
Yeah, I wanted to test himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wants to test himself as well. He's only 6.5, but he wants to get down to the gym, and he's a good kid, man. Yeah, so I'm lucky. I'm lucky. He's always looking to train, and he's always looking to stay healthy and fit, and he's active, and
Yeah.
you know, he surprises me sometimes. Sometimes I think, fuck, where did I get this kid from? But yeah, he's such a good kid, man.
It's crazy. Like, cause I'm starting to like my friends that got kids. I'm like really looking to be like, what the, how they living?
Yeah,
What's that shit like?
It's good. I don't think anything has changed. I can't think of life before Jackson. So I'm 32. I had my son when I would have been 25 or 26.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's an interesting way to look at it. I can't remember my life before.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. And now again, because I've done it, I had my second son Knox 3 months ago on the 4th of the 4th. It's like I take ease in knowing I've already done it. I've went, okay,
Yeah.
I've already done this. It's not that bad. It's just like another little person added to the clique.
Were you nervous before Jackson?
Oh yeah, shit myself.
Really?
Yeah, man. I think everyone is. I think your first child, anyone who has a child will know. I was super nervous. Yeah, I was still a kid, really. You know.
Yeah.
I had so many other plans of traveling and doing this and doing that, and I've always liked to travel.
You still like make sure you.
Oh,
get
we
your
still
trip
do.
there,
Yeah, we get out as much as we can. We just almost have our Australian citizenship. We just done that test recently.
Yeah.
So we'll start traveling again now. But yeah, it does. Honestly, people panic and worry so much because they're about to have a child and everything changes, but really nothing changes. It's still the same thing, you know. You're still the same. It just brings you tighter, if anything, you know.
Yeah.
It just brings everything tighter and everything. I mean, it's the best thing that can ever happen to anyone, I believe. You know, it changes your world in relation to the way you think.
Yeah.
But in everyday life, money wise, financial wise, early on in life, nothing really changes there. That's what I was so afraid of, was financially going, oh no.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
I have a child coming. What am I going to do? But if you break it down and think about how much they cost to feed and to do whatever, unless your partner is working, and in that situation, I was bringing in a wage, Kate was bringing in a small wage, so it didn't make a difference to us.
Yeah.
But still, I was panicking financially. I just thought it was going to cost me so much money. And
yeah, that's like what I worry about.
Yeah, there's probably people out there going, oh, what the fuck are you talking about, man? It cost you. But yeah, for me, it didn't. Like, we've done all the stupid shit. We went out and bought expensive buggies and stupid cots and changing tables and all this fucking crazy shit that we didn't need.
Yeah, I'm too tight for that.
Yeah, well, I should have been. But yeah, but no. So that was the only thing that we knew second time around, is that everything isn't as bad as we think. It's not that we think it's going to be bad, but everything isn't as you imagine it. It doesn't cost you a fortune. It's not going to change your life dramatically.
Yeah,
it changes the way you think dramatically. That's what I found.
Which is probably more conducive to making more money. Which
exactly,
means
you're so more driven.
Yeah,
but financially and like in the house internally, you just have another little
fucking minion running around.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
What was the did you think that you would always move out of Ireland and that you'd have kids in another country? Like,
no.
Is that just happenstance?
I left Ireland when I was 14 and moved to England. I left Ireland when I was 16 and moved to England. And so then I sort of got the travel bug. I moved to England from the age of 16 to 17 riding racehorses. So I got the travel bug then.
Who went with you?
Myself.
Just you?
My dad brought me over in his work, like ute, you would call it here, like a Jeep we call it in Ireland. Put the scooter in the back of I had a scooter like a Yamaha Aerox. Laid that bitch down in the back of the ute, man, with a blanket on it. That was me. I had a bed, I had a bike. Went over there, 16 years of age, and stayed there for just under a year. I had 2 rides there. One I fell off, and the second I came second on. Second ride, yeah.
And was that like professional level?
No, that was as an amateur jockey. It's a bit. So an amateur jockey is like an apprentice professional, basically.
Yeah.
But you have apprentice jockeys and you have conditional jockeys. But yeah, it's that was my end goal, was to be a pro. You still get paid under the table and stuff as an amateur jockey. Everything is sort of cash that way. But well, it was. I'm not sure what it's like now. It's been a long time since I've done it. But that was a great experience. That gave me the travel bug. I left Ireland then at 21, moved to New York, stayed there for just under 4 years. Met my partner there, and started the box there, as I spoke about earlier on. Met my partner the last year. That was, as you can imagine, New York was a great experience.
Yeah,
unbelievable,
dude. That's one of my regrets in life. So we got my business partner at the time moved to New York with his fiance.
Yeah, and
I didn't have much money. Like, everything was in the business. It was we had the best cameras and the best everything. Yeah. And I just didn't have money, and they were moving over there for another business they had, and they were like, right, we'll help you if you want to do it. And I just didn't want to, like, they'd help me get set up before, and we'd put money into cameras, and like we worked fucking hard, and we did so much, but like I didn't really get to repay them for what it was, and I felt like it was 2.0 of then it was like more money to try and get back the money that they'd already and I was I didn't feel right in myself. It felt more like charity at that point than work, and even though I know it wasn't from them, I don't know, there's a bit of like inner sort of, I had a bit of an inner struggle with that, but like looking back and knowing how genuine their intentions were, and I ended up staying. It was with an ex-girlfriend, and we had a house in Huntington Beach, and I wanted to surf, and I gave that up for that. And looking back at it now, because I fucking love New York City, dude. Like, it's a crazy place.
Unbelievable city, mate. One of the best decisions I ever made was going there when I did. I learned a lot of valuable life lessons in New York. It's a hustle. New York is a hustle, man. There's no one standing still. Everyone's out hustling. If it's raining, there's someone outside the subway selling umbrellas.
Yeah.
If it's 40 degrees outside, there's someone selling ice cold bottles of water. It's a fucking hustle, mate. It really, really brings you alive. That's what made me want to do something with myself. I was probably a little bit overweight, and
it's an inspiring place,
mate.
When your feet hit the ground. Like,
drives you, mate.
Yeah,
drives you.
There's a few places in the world that I've been to that have that same level of like, fuck, let's go.
Yeah.
And that's why I wish I lived there.
New York was one of them.
Because I've only experienced that in spurts. Yeah. And I should have experienced that. They lived there for a year.
Yeah. And being an Irish immigrant there obviously gave me an extra drive to see the amount of Irish people that have done well over there, the amount of Irish landowners, property owners, bar owners, all these people that had went over at the same age as me and built up their built up their legacy or whatever you want to call it over there, and had made something of themselves. Really, really drove me as well. I think life as an immigrant, I think we're lucky. I always hear Gary Vee speak about it. It's just that it gives you that extra drive to want to do well wherever you go. You're going, okay, I'm sacrificing living with my parents or living beside my parents. I'm sacrificing living beside people I grew up with all my life. So this shit's going to work. I'm going to make it work. So it gives you that extra drive and push to do well. So I think I'm lucky in that sense.
There's something about Ireland too. It seems that if you grow up hardship, in Ireland, why is it such a hard, like a place filled with hardship?
Well, we went through 800 years of brutal domination by the English. You know, we just got poverty, people taking land. We had a terrible time. We were oppressed. We were hard times, and they make tough people. So when them people got out of that environment and went over to America in the early 20th century, they made sure that shit worked. They made sure that they were sending back to their family. They were helping out everyone they possibly could. That's why there's so many of us all over the world. You know, I don't know how many. I'd be just guessing.
There's more Irish people outside of Ireland.
Isn't there more? There's only like 6 million in Ireland or something. I think that could be. Yeah, that's including the whole of Ireland.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but I think the last time I looked, Southern Ireland was 4.5. But I count Ireland as a whole. There's no dividing border for me. Ireland is one. I think there's 6 million in total in the whole of Ireland. So such a small place, mate. But everywhere you go in the world, there's an Irish bar. Someone was telling me they were in Azerbaijan recently, and there was a fucking Irish bar right in the middle of that bitch. You know what I mean? Azerbaijan, mate.
How's the fucking Irish bar that we went to in Thailand? With crazy motherfucker. He was a legit crazy motherfucker.
He was a G, man.
He was a don. Yeah, he was sitting in this fucking bar in Thailand. Yeah. We had one of the boys tell us we had to go there and hang out with this dude. And we get there. There's no one in the fucking bar. There's a Thai bird behind the bar. And then this fucking old Irish Hugh Hefner looking motherfucker.
from Cork, man. Well, we won't say his name, but from Cork. But he was a gangster smoking on a fucking baseball bat.
Yeah, he had these baseball bat fucking joints, and we just were sitting there chain smoking with his fucking Irish cunt. And by the time we were there 20 minutes, him and Andrew were talking to. I just couldn't hear anything. It was just gibberish, fucking. And then it turns out your man fucking lived in Cairns and knows like a bunch of people that I knew.
I fucking forgot that. Yeah, I do remember it now. Yeah,
crazy. He had fucking photos with people I knew on the wall, because he starts talking about Cairns, and I feel like everyone talks about Cairns as like everyone's got a story and they know this person, know that person, and it is pretty small to where like you sort of do know most people.
Yeah.
And then true to his word, I was like, you're kidding me. It was actually a blues bar, and
it was a fish on the wall, I believe that. Yeah. Now I think back on it, wasn't it, Jay? That's what you're seeing, and you went, oh fuck, I know that dude.
Yeah. Fucking crazy, yeah.
Crazy stuff.
But yeah, you are right. There's an Irish bar in every.
Yeah, my uncle owned one in Kuala Lumpur. I recently stopped in Kuala Lumpur on the way home from Thailand. I've been there 5 or 6 times. My uncle Danny, who was a racehorse trainer, but he's recently moved back to Ireland again. He's been all over the world training racehorses. So yeah, it's just such a strong culture of drink in Ireland, you know, and having a good time and telling stories, and it's part of our culture. It's part of our culture. That's where we used to congregate. We'd go to the pub. We had little snugs where the women used to sit, and then the women would go into the lounge, and crazy culture in pubs and bars in Ireland. It's something that we love to do. Have a few beers, sing a few songs, have the crack, as we say, and sometimes it gets taken a little bit too far, but sure, you know. But no, it's really part of our culture. It's mad. Like I said, there's one in the middle of Azerbaijan. Who the fuck would think there's a bar even in Azerbaijan?
Yeah, it's it seems too like Irish culture just never really got watered down, did it?
No, not really. I think it's a little bit more multicultural now, in Ireland.
But I think that like I see you and like Dennis and, you know, you people that you're sort of close with, and you've got like that connection to back home. And I feel like when I'm around other Aussies, like if I'm on a camp and there's an Irish guy and you're there, you two are fucking bonded as Ireland. You know what I mean? Whereas I feel like when I go to that camp, there's a bunch of Aussies there, but I'm not bonding with them as Aussies, if that makes sense. I'm bonding with them over just purely selfish interests, if that makes sense.
I agree 1,000,000%, mate.
I don't have a thought of, honestly, it's all just I'm looking at things, I'm taking them selfishly. I like that guy because of this.
Especially if they've travelled. Especially, I think, if someone has been away from Ireland for a period of time, I think that if you meet them, like for instance, this time on the camp, Lar was there, who I train with in the gym, but like it was the same thing. We paired up. We were always, you know, having a few beers, having a few J's after training or whatever, chilling in the pool. You're right, there's a connection between Irish people. I think it's like we have a bond, especially if we've went off travelling somewhere, and couldn't be prouder to be from where I'm from, you know. I really love Ireland. It's a great place. It's
crazy the way that Conor McGregor's like just bought Ireland, like an entire country come back into the spotlight. Like, do you feel that?
Yeah, 100%.
Crazy. Isn't that fucking crazy that a dude can bring a whole country forward? Yeah,
it really is, man. And I think, again, it's only hearsay. I don't live in Ireland, but like I think that he's maybe underappreciated back home.
Like you think he's done, like, because people are at home, not out in the world,
seeing what he's done and seeing how big of a star,
Because you'd get people, I mean, I've been with people and people are like, you know Conor McGregor, you know, you like Conor McGregor.
Yeah, all the time.
Crazy,
all the time. Everywhere I go, I hear it, you know, Conor McGregor. Everyone loves him everywhere in the world. He's a legend, man. What he's done for not only Ireland, but what he's done for the sport in general. He had a massive part. That $4 billion, a good chunk of that should be in his pocket. He elevated that sport beyond, and it's the same thing. He's just a megastar. As you said, everywhere you go, people know who he is.
And dude, like,
I'm walking down Kuala Lumpur, and there's these little Kuala Lumpur dudes saying to me, I always get told I look like him. I'm walking down the bars, the ginger beard. I'm walking down the road. These little guys are stopping me and asking me, do I know Conor McGregor? You're going, how do you know? Just insane, absolutely insane. How well he's known worldwide. That's probably the reason why I think he is underappreciated a little bit in Ireland. Yeah,
because like the people that are in the country, not a lot has changed in the country, but it's the impact that he's had on the rest of the world
stage, man.
And when you're out there as an Irish man in Australia or Kuala Lumpur or whatever, you're like, fuck, this cunt goes everywhere. He touches everything.
Everyone knows him.
He was the A-side on that Mayweather fight.
Yeah, big time.
You know, I felt like Floyd Mayweather was getting to fight Conor in a way. Yeah, it felt like his show. It didn't feel like Floyd's show.
No, for a boxing fan, for me, it did. I have to say, but I do know what you're saying.
Maybe it's just because I'm coming from that world.
No, I know exactly. Yeah, and 100%. But I Floyd was always someone that I admired. He's one of the best defensive boxers that ever lived. In my opinion, he's unbelievably good, talented. Oh man, just
and that's why I think it was so good when Conor hit him.
Yeah, with the uppercut in the second or third round.
It was like, fuck.
Ooh, I thought
No one hits
fucked.
this dude.
Yeah, and then he jumped through the roof. I was watching it in Sydney, man. Fucking hell, it was insane. It was like a split room.
Yeah.
It was like a load of Arab guys on one side and then like a load of Irish guys on the other side. And every time McGregor landed a punch, started getting a little bit heavy. I was like, oh, fuck.
Maybe.
Yeah, oh shit.
Maybe.
But I thought it was going to kick off in the pub.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought it was going to kick off in the pub because they were shouting when Mayweather scored a shot, and when he caught him with a shot, and then we were shouting obviously when McGregor hit him with a shot. But
did a part of you want McGregor to win, even though you're
every
from
last
boxer? Yeah.
every last part of me wanted McGregor to win. Yeah, I wanted McGregor to win, but I knew it was a massive task.
Yeah.
He's the greatest to ever live. When he landed that uppercut, I'm not going to lie, I was thinking, whoa, this could actually work out here. He could catch him with something strange, but he just broke him down and then start backing him up, and inexperience on McGregor's side. But
isn't it funny how a superstar like him just exists?
It's mad.
Like before he was in the UFC, he was always that fucking dude. Like, and then you watch like you saw the Netflix documentary they did on him.
Yeah.
And you watch that, and then you go back, and it's like you just don't ever see people that are like megastars. That when you go back and you watch their life before they were who they are, you're like, that cunt's boring.
He's just normal. Yeah, he's just a normal person.
But you don't, like, you can still see, like, that's fucking Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Like, you can see it in him. Before, he wasn't that person.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of, like, the notoriety, but he's always been that fucking dude that got him to where he is. Like, I don't know.
He's always had that. He's
always had that thing.
Star power. Or star appeal, or whatever you want to call it. But no, I agree. He has that confidence about him or something. You're going, whoa, this dude is someone. Even when he wasn't someone.
Yeah, he was someone.
You were thinking he is someone. You know, he always had that charisma, I suppose is the best word to use.
And but like, you never watch like a ESPN like Jorge Masvidal. Like, we were watching
just
that.
Watching him
we're just watching that.
He's the same.
But you're like, that he has big dick energy.
Yeah.
Like, he's out there slinging that shit around.
Yeah.
You know,
BDE.
he's got that fucking big dick energy. And he wasn't, they were tripping on buying shit from Whole Foods because it was too expensive for them.
$20 a steak, yeah.
And like, now look at the guy. But you look back, you're like, you were always that motherfucker.
Yeah. It's just funny that if you watch the first interview with McGregor, I don't know who was talking to about it the weekend, you know, where he's like a spotty face 16 or 17 year old sort of saying, I'm going to be the best in the world, I'm going to have more money than I know what to do with. It was actually a friend of mine that done the recording for that, Dean Kelly. Really? Yeah. He was similar to yourself, big into sort of photography and video work, and he does a lot of stuff for skateboarders. He'd actually done a lot of stuff to raise funding for a skateboard park in the middle of the town I'm from in Newbridge, in County Kildare. I think he had a heavy role to play in that, but he used to be always taking pictures of the boys and doing videos and stuff, but just by chance he done that. I hope he made some money out of that, you know, I really do. I hope he made some nice cash because he deserves it.
It's iconic,
Yeah, man, how crazy is that?
What's that?
1 o'clock.
So what time do you fly out?
3, yeah.
So be there. So we could leave here by 1:30 and be sweet.
Yeah, okay.
So
I'll do it. We've got half an hour left. Yeah, it was good stuff. So like and how imagine asking. I'd love to actually ask him. I haven't spoke to him in years, but saying to him, like, you know, how I went on holidays years ago when we were younger to Crete with him, but how much how crazy that is to have that bit of footage of McGregor asking him the questions that he asked him. I'd love to see the unedited version of that because it's probably an hour long or a half an hour long. But
I've got all this footage in the US that I'm trying to get back over here at the moment. I just couldn't bring all that stuff back with me, like they're so fucking heavy. And I've got all these interviews with like guys now that are just killing it. And it was so like, you know, I've got these amazing interviews with them, and I'd never put my voice in anything. Like, that's why this is such a trip, because I've always been doing this format of like talking to people, and I always loved the interviews that I would do for the videos that I'd have to make for Red Bull or whatever. But you know, you'd always take your voice out of it. It wasn't a podcast, it was an edit. And I've like been wanting to post some of those lately because it's just fucking cool to like go back in
it's
time,
like
it's the same style. Like I used to talk to people the same way.
It's crazy. I love watching them things, like even like that Masvidal and Kobe Covington thing we were looking at. Like, that's 5 years ago, you know, to see. It's almost satisfying to see how hard they were grinding.
It's all the same.
How long it took them to get, and it's only starting to click for them now, and that's 5 years ago, and they're probably grinding 5 years before that, man. You know what I mean? So they've been doing that shit 10 years, Like pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and eventually
fuck
it has to work. It has to work.
And like the last 3 years for those two, and then but all the time with that, you're like, because I think that shit in business with like the podcast and stuff, I'm like, this is the month where it's going to get easier financially. This is the month where, you know, I'm going to get a couple extra sponsors. I'm going to be fucking cruising. I'm going to be on easy street. And the next month comes and it's a fucking grind again. And you've got $86 in your bank account. Yeah. And then you're fucking going, oh, well, if this comes out tomorrow, I got no money. And then you just go, but you know what? Next month is going to be the month.
Just got to keep pushing.
Fucking turns again. It's like showing up, like we were saying.
Just have to show up. It has to click, man. It has to click.
Yeah.
It has to click. You know, no matter what, as long as you keep showing up, it has to work.
And you felt like that. Like there's been times I've talked to you over the last couple of months where I'd call you and you're like, oh, I'm fucking taking interviews with people.
Yeah, same thing. Being self-employed, it's tough. It's a tough gig. You know, anyone who's in the construction industry knows it's a system. It's a broken system. It really is, really and truly a broken system. It's sad because you see these guys with families, me being one of them, putting in this work, making sure things are done right, making sure they're done on time. They have ridiculous time frames on jobs getting done. It's a really, really and truly broken system. And the guy with the least amount of money, I could talk about it for 3 years, man, honestly. To shorten it up, the guy with the least amount of money is the guy who ends up getting stung in the end.
Yeah.
And that's just a sad fact of the construction industry. If you aren't a multi-million-dollar or multi-billion-dollar developer, and you're just a tradie with, you know, Mrs. Kids, whatever you may do, single fella, you know, a few dogs, whatever your goal is, you still have to put up with the same shit. You're just the bottom of the fucking ladder, and you're the one who's going to pay in the long run. Things go south, the builder loses. He's not losing. He's just taking that out of your cut.
Yeah.
So that's the way it is. It's a sad state of affairs at the minute. Something has to change. It really does, and I believe it will. Eventually, Queensland, I think, are one of the leaders in the pack in relation to trying to, like, you have to be licensed here. I was set up here for 2 years. I just couldn't get busy enough. It was as you know, that's why I had to move to Melbourne. It was just too hard to sort of break into here.
Yeah.
Wasn't busy enough, but I had to get a license here. I had to get a carpentry license, had to pass a test. And now they've brought in a new law in Queensland where I didn't do too much looking into it, but just in the brief look over they had, that you now have to provide financial evidence of how your company's doing, if you're breaking even, if you're making a profit, and if you aren't making enough money, you can't trade.
Really?
So yeah, and that's builders. You know, builders are really the enemy. It's sad because there's some really good builders out there, but there's some really evil ones as well. Their margins are 1%. I know there'll be lots of people, or if there is lots of people listening to this, there'll be lots of people in the same situation that would agree with me who work in the construction industry.
Oh, there's a ton of tradies that listen to this.
It's a fucking broken system, mate. It's a broken system. It really is. And something has to be done. Something has to be done badly.
What could you do you think?
Regulate it. Get someone in to be instead of.
So you think that there's so many builders that are like kind of fucking the market price wise,
but they're just going in at 1%.
Yeah,
they're going at 1% profit. How can you make money?
And they're relying on like not paying people essentially.
Exactly
to, like,
right.
Make money.
Exactly right. 100% correct. That's exactly what's happening. They're relying on ripping people off. That's what they're going to do. And
they're just staying ahead of like the payment. Like they get a payment, they keep that money, they pay their shit, and they don't pay other people.
Rip off the subby. Off the subby and see how much of a fuss he kicks up. If he kicks up a big fuss, we'll give him something. If he doesn't, they'll draw it out. They just draw it out as long as they can, and the guy at the bottom of the food chain with the least amount of money
will dip out.
Will just run out of cash. You can only cash flow. You can only keep wages coming out of your account. You can only keep direct debits for vans, for whatever you may have, whatever bills you may have, offices. They're coming out every week, regardless whether you get paid or not. Same as life, you know. It's nothing new, but it's just a broken system. I'll put it to you this way: you can do everything correctly, work as hard as you possibly can,
meet every deadline,
and still lose in the construction game. It's strange, you know. It's a really, really strange, and it's a really, really strange industry. You have to pick your battles, and you have to know who you're dealing with, and that's something I've had to learn over time.
Yeah,
that, you know. I'm not pricing random jobs for random dudes. I'm on recommendation only. If you get recommended to me, I'll go and do work for you. If you don't, we aren't doing business. And that's the simple fact. That's the way I've broke it down myself. It seems to be working well so far. So that's the way I try to do it. I just try to stick to guys I know, and instead of taking chances when things are quiet, I just sit tight.
sit tight and then wait for the guy that I trust, the guy that I like, to give me another bit of work, and then I'll go do work for them, rather than taking chances and dealing with idiots that, you know, that's their game. That's how they make money. They just rob the small man. It's a sad state of affairs.
The thing that is crazy though is like, we'll fucking keep coming. You'll keep coming back.
You have to. You're in too deep. It's you have to keep. You're at the full mercy of a builder. That's the way it is. If you're a subcontractor like myself,
but there's got to be something about, like, I just feel like you're the kind of guy that's always going to work for yourself. Like, no matter how fucked it is, there's something about this. You know, the stress is worth it to not have to go be some fucking.
Like we spoke about, I think the struggle builds character. I think there has to be like
it's
at the
funny
end of the
that
tunnel.
there's so much. Once you realise that, there becomes so much value on character, and it's like you're working for currency money wise, but you're also working for currency, character. You know,
life currency, man.
Yeah, you're
life
working
currency.
on life.
It can't be bought. It can't be bought.
But like, it's crazy that you get to a point where you find out that is necessary. Like, you
100%.
need that life currency.
Yeah. As long as I can get, I know I'm learning here all the time. Like, if I speak to someone who's 32 years of age, you know, that came up similar to I came up, we're thinking and works for someone. Let's just say, and I have nothing against, you know, I'm not saying anything bad about anyone who works for someone, or I'm not putting them down. Do your thing, whatever makes you happy. Everyone's different. Everyone's an individual. But I just can't do it. I couldn't do it. I'm happier grinding and trying to make things work, and I know it's character building. Eventually this will click. Like someone who's working for someone, as I said, that's the same age as me. I can tell them what way the court system works now, because I've had to bring someone to court, or I've been, you know, all these different situations and scenarios that I've been in. Being a business owner will stand to me and have stood to me. You know, it's character building. I believe that, in my opinion, that's what it is. It's character building, and I think maybe that's just me trying to convince myself, or it's ego. I don't know. Who knows?
But you're right. Like, because I agree with you. I think the same thing. I just think, like, it's been financially fucking rough since we moved to Burleigh, because I've had to build this studio, I've had to build another studio. Ricky didn't have work when we first moved here, so like it's a slog,
grind,
bro.
It's a grind.
But it's just, I don't know, like I just wonder, like, I think about the whole life currency thing, and I know it's like, you know, you put it a good way by saying life currency. I always would think that there's, for the $1,500 I get paid from this person, I get $1,500 in something else. Like, it always seems like I'm getting double the actual money, and for some reason that feels worth it to me, but I don't know what I'm ever going to spend that extra money on.
Life, I believe that's what you're going to spend it on. Life, that is your currency in life, is knowledge, you know, and that's what you're stacking all the time, is knowledge. And the thing about it is, you don't lose it. Money goes,
you don't know when you're going to spend it either.
No, you don't. But you know, it's just such a good thing to I would rather have that, mate, than a false bank account, you know, full of whatever. Don't get me wrong, I love money, but it's not the be all and end all. Like, I could go and get a job for someone, go work in the tunnels and make $2.5-3 grand a week, but I'd rather go out and try and make that myself. You know, I want to build my own thing. I want to build my own empire. I want to build my own. I want to be me. I don't want to be someone's little, you know, gopher or whatever. I want to do it myself. And that's not for everyone, and I've no problem with that. But for me, it is. That's the way I want to do it, and I don't fancy doing.
And there's times, like I even said last week, I was talking to Mum, I was like, fuck, I just might need to get a job. And then it's like, you weigh it up and you're like, all right, well, if I get a job, like I spent 12 hours editing the podcast today. So if I get a job, everything that went up online today wouldn't go up. And then when would I do that again? And I was like, well, if I did Jiu Jitsu, then that's 2 hours gone to that. And then I'd have 3 hours at home before I went to bed to try and do 12 hours of editing work. So it's like, it becomes very clear. It's like, you either do this or you do that. And it's like, if you want to do this, which is keep doing the podcast, fucking figure it out. You know, and you get to that much of a crossroads, because you do get to a point where you can't do both. You know, you couldn't go work for someone, keep your construction business going on the side while you wait for things to get better. Like, you're all in or you're all out.
You have to be all in.
It's tight. It's crazy.
You can't half do it. No, you can't be half in, half out. With this, I think, you know, it's only a matter of time, I think, before everything starts clicking. You know, your name is getting out there and you're doing the right things. Again, It just has to work.
Yeah.
As long as you keep doing it, it's going to work. No matter what way you think about it or what way you, it's going to work.
It's weird though, like to sit and talk about it as like the money though, because like really I just want the money so I can keep doing this, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's not like, I haven't really thought about it much past it. It's more like I just want the money so I can keep doing it and I don't have to stop doing this. But when like I sit here and I talk with you, I don't think like I'm going down to get Andrew on the podcast to make money. I'm like just doing it so that we go down and
yeah, it's like something we'll have forever, you know.
Yeah.
The conversation that we had in your house in Burley, in 10 years' time, you'll be living in a mansion somewhere.
Yeah.
Remember that time we were in the garage when we only had like 8 mats to put together?
Yeah,
You know, I've got my own gym, you know what I mean?
Joey fucking G ripped that, took that fucking, took
Big
that
Joey
leg.
G grabbed the hold of my leg and nearly tore my fucking ankle out.
Took home the missus a Christmas ham. But yeah, no, it's like, yeah, it's a fucking,
It's a point in time. It's good. It's same as a picture, same as a video. I think some people don't take. Some people take too many pictures. I think it's nice to have a picture of a specific time, or
Yeah.
even videos are good as well, like of a role or of a time. That's why I think some of the social media is good in that regard.
Yeah.
It's the same as everything. You can have too much of it though. You know,
Yeah.
same as alcohol, same as weed, same as drugs, same as whatever. It's you can have too much of it. I think it has to be monitored, and you have to monitor it yourself.
yeah.
But yeah,
I'm thinking, oh fuck, I wish I could bloody just get you another flight so you could stay later, but you probably can't.
oh yeah.
Could keep this convo going. We will keep this convo going. We'll stop this bad boy up now. This was a little special edition of the podcast with my mate Andrew,
The homie.
yeah, so definitely if you're a full fucking moto frother and you don't want to know about jiu-jitsu, then probably not the podcast. But
No.
I feel like we did like 50 like jiu-jitsu and then life.
Yeah.
So, and I could definitely keep doing it. So we'll get you on next time you
Yeah,
come up.
man.
Hopefully, you might be up for that Eternal fight soon, eh?
Yeah, it could be up next the end of the month, I think,
Yeah.
for Rob Pelle.
I'm actually probably going to be racing motocross that weekend.
Okay.
26, 27.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is, I think.
Rob Pelle, if a guy I hold the pads for, trains in my gym. He has a fight coming up. Good kid. Shows up all the time. Trains hard. Really, really, really nice fella. The Italian stallion, Rob Pelle.
And the Irish gorilla.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm trying half use this as encouragement for Andrew to do his own podcast too. He's very, very knowledgeable in the fight game and boxing, MMA.
maybe.
So we're maybe we'll get him doing that shit, and he can become a podcast superstar himself. Thanks for doing it, bro.
Man.